Bonjour. Hello, hello, hello. Hola. I guess it's 8:30. I think it's 8:30, so I'm actually doing pretty well. Hi, everybody. Happy hump day. I hope you're all doing really well. I come to you with like the biggest hair, and I don't care. And I feel like these are like Big Brother confessionals, you know, where they used to go into that room and talk in like secret so no one else can hear. What I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight was vows. And here's the evolution of my thought process. Last night, my husband and I got into a tiff, and we weren't getting along on the phone, so we ended up hanging up and doing a little text fight. Have you ever had a text fight? Those are interesting and cool and fun. Anyways, I woke up. We went to bed upset. He's not with me, but we went to bed upset. We're together, but he's not. He wasn't home last night because he's working. I digress. And so, I woke up mad. I woke up still really pretty upset, and it was like that feeling inside your heart when you fight with someone that you love. And I started thinking like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. I have the tools to deal with this, right? You just like feel the flow of the emotions. You trust, you breathe, you let go. It's all supposed to be fine, hunky-dory. And that sounds great. But when you're in it, when your emotions are flying high, when you actually feel pissed off, it's like, why can't I apply that to this moment? Like, I'm just pissed off, and I feeling pissed off isn't helping me to feel better. And I got to thinking about what it is that was making me feel that way. Like, it was one of those where I kept wanting to call and make it right away. And then I was like, what is that need inside of me? You know, why can't I sit in discomfort? Like, I can't stay in an argument with anybody. I have this feeling that it's like so uncomfortable for me. I just want to move on. I just want to get over it and move on so I could go back to feeling peace. And I asked myself, like, why can't you feel peace in an argument? And some pretty deep shite come up. Some pretty deep shit came up. And here's what I wanted to talk to you about. The stuff that was coming up for me was my need. Well, I guess I had two things come up, right? Number one, there was a part of my ego that just needed to be right. I needed him to acknowledge my rightness in the situation. You know, I knew we had both done things we shouldn't have done, or said things rather that we shouldn't have said, but I felt like my points were valid and I wanted to be acknowledged for how right I was about my part. And so that kept me in discomfort longer than necessary, because sometimes we'd rather just be right than be loved, right? Correct? Here's the other thing that came up, though. The other thing that came up was like that feeling of like abandonment, you know, that feeling of needing to be loved by someone else. And I got to thinking that if I could love myself in that moment, know that I was okay, know that everything was going to be fine no matter what, because I had myself, then that moment didn't feel so tight and scary and constrictive. But how do you do that? And so then I started thinking about the marriage I had with my husband. And like, you write vows when you get married, at least most of us do. And you say the most beautiful things, like for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. And you basically say, no matter what life throws at us, I'm going to be there for you. That's what all of that amounts to, right? No matter what situation, good or bad, you've got me on your side. And there's security in that. I think that's why we share vows, to say to that person, I'm your wingman. Like, I'm always going to be there no matter what happens. And even when it gets bad, because it's so easy to love someone when it's richer, better, healthier, you know, all the positives. Do we even have to say that? Because of course we're going to love someone through that stuff. It should be for worse, for sicker. What is it? For richer. For poor, all the negatives, like for poor, for worse, for sicker, I'll be there for you, because we know we're going to be there for all the positives. And then I asked myself like a really important question. Where are the vows that I wrote to the marriage I have with myself? Where are the vows that I'm committed to for the relationship of this life that I take myself on with? Does that make sense? If you're here, because again, that freaking number that goes up and down is driving me insane. So if you're here, say hi. I don't even know if I'll be able to see the comments, because last time I couldn't see the comments. But if you're here, say that you're here. But it got me thinking how crazy that we're so committed to another human being that we write these vows of all the promises we make to be there for them no matter how bad things get. And yet, where have you ever written down or committed to the vows for yourself? One of the reasons breaking up in relationships is so hard, one of the reasons losing people we love is so hard, is because we hang on to that love. We look at people that we love as a replacement of the love we should have for ourselves, rather than a complement of the love that we should have for ourselves. If we have everything we need, then someone else comes in to a relationship with us and they're just extra, right? They're the complement. It's like, hi, oh great, I get to love you too now. Now in addition to loving myself, I get to love you and spread that love and increase the capacity for my heart to give. This is awesome. But the thing is, we are waiting to receive that from everybody else. So no wonder we're always trying to be in control. No wonder we're always trying to be right. Because if that person leaves, if that relationship goes away, what are you left with? And if you don't feel like you love yourself or you have a relationship with yourself, then when the person on the outside that you love, when it doesn't work out with them, then you have no vows to yourself. Then you're not in a relationship with yourself and you feel abandoned and alone and scared. And so although it's great to have a life partner and a good relationship, whatever that may be, in a good marriage, what's really great is to be in a loving relationship for ourselves. And so what I'm going to do, and I'll read them to you tomorrow night, is I'm going to write vows to myself the way I did when I got married. Vows to my commitment to myself. Am I there for myself, for richer or for poor? Because I can tell you that when I don't make money, I'm pretty mean to myself. And I say things to myself that I would never say if my husband came home and said, I'm not making any money. I wouldn't be like, well, that's because you're a piece of shit. Duh. I would never say things like that. I would support him and encourage him and tell him that it's all going to be okay. And I would remember my vows and say, we've got this. I'm your wing girl. But yet I don't honor myself and follow those vows because I don't have any vows to myself. And we all say that we love ourselves or we talk about self-love, but what are we actively doing? What are the actions that we're taking each day to show ourselves that kind of love? And like I said before, these videos have been one of the ways I've tried to fall in love with myself, in the sense that I believe that the only judgment that I really need to be concerned about is the judgment I have of myself. And that if I believe in the things I say and do and feel, then why would I be so worried about what anybody else thinks? So that is what I'm trying to conquer by going live each day. And it's hard because, you never know who's going to show up. You never know who's going to agree. You never know. When you're talking to someone in person, you have that visual, you have that body language. So by the way they're reacting to you, even if they don't say a word, you have their eyes, their size, their, whatever it is, however they move their body, the tone of their voice. And you can gauge like, okay, what is this connection like? Am I saying something that aligns with you? Are you pissed off at me? But so much of that human, like face-to-face contact, looks different right now. And even more so, exponentially so, when you talk to people online, because you're talking to a screen of yourself. It feels like you're talking to yourself, which may be exactly what I need right now in trying to develop more self-love. Reminding myself of what I think and believe. But when you know there's people behind the devices that are watching you, there's this part of your consciousness that thinks about their judgments. I wonder what they think when they're hearing what I say. I wonder how this makes them feel. I wonder if they'll like me or not. I wonder if they'll scroll past me and say, ugh, or they'll stop and listen and then scroll past, or stop and listen and say, this is fantastic. And does it matter? Why or why not? Like, these are all questions. But back to my original point is that I spent a lot of time writing vows when I got married, and they weren't always easy to keep. And for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, and for sickness and in health. The sickness and in health part, is pretty easy for me because you love someone no matter what in that sense. And even, the richer or poor, it's the better or worse that I find the most challenging, because the worst of someone is always kind of tough to deal with, whatever your worst means. Like for my husband, one of the worst that he deals with is that he's a little OCD and I am DCO, like don't care. I don't know what the O would stand for, but I'm like not OCD. And that's my worst. That's one of the things he deals with in a marriage with me, because that's his, good or bad. But I am going to write some vows to myself tonight and over the course of the next week. It'll be something I take time to do and really ask myself, like, what are you committed to being there? How are you your own wingman? Like, what are the vows you make to yourself? I promise to speak lovingly to you, even when I don't feel lovable. I promise to encourage you to be more healthy, even when it feels like you're not, because your weight is more than it should be. So instead of calling yourself heavy, instead of calling yourself names, you give yourself the talk you would give to your best friend. And you say, don't worry, it's okay. We can get there. We want to be healthier. I want to be healthier. So I'm going to commit and help you commit to drinking more water, eating better food. So you are in a marriage with yourself. You are in a relationship with yourself. And the more you enrich and be present in a relationship that you have with yourself, the more you commit and make promises to yourself and hold space for yourself and show up for yourself and talk nice to yourself, the more you let go of that tight grip you have on other relationships. And other relationships become, yes, if they're in my life and they're making my life even better than it already is, then that's fantastic. I'm so glad to have you around. But if you can't help me do better than I can do for myself, then maybe not, right? But the way that we develop that sovereignty over what we allow and don't allow and who we allow in and don't allow in comes first and foremost from the relationship we have from ourselves. And the more we get ourselves to give, the more we get everything we need from ourselves, then the less we're gripping and begging and controlling the thoughts and feelings of those we love, because we're no longer so afraid of being abandoned or being left alone or being unloved or being unseen or unheard, because we see and hear and love and care for ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I was repetitive, but that was really in my heart. It was in my heart earlier, and I got carried away with kids and school and lunches and dinners, and I cried a lot today, and not for any specific reason. Just, when you just have a heavy, energetic day, like a sad day, but you're not sad for any specific reason. It just felt heavy today. I don't know if anybody relates, but let me know, comment, oh my gosh, comment, say something. If you listen to this on replay, if you listen to this live, interact, let me know. It takes a second to just share your thoughts. write anything. Linda, I have no idea what you're talking about. Linda, I agree. Linda, I've already written vows to myself. I would love to know if anybody watching has ever written vows to themselves. Like, did I make that up just now, or is that a thing and somebody's done it already? So let me know. And if you haven't done it and you think it's a great idea and you're going to do it, let me know. You know, I just felt like it was a really good idea for me today. And I don't know, it just felt good today to, normally when I get into an argument, I'm just, like I said, I'm looking to, no matter who it's with, I'm just one of those that calls and calls and tries to like get it right, make it right, because I don't like the discomfort of being upset with someone that I love. But I feel like I'm improving and growing and evolving, because today I really sat with myself and the feelings I was having and, you know, said, why is this here? Why can't I just float through it? And what are the lessons I've learned up till now that I could apply to this situation to come out of this quicker, to engage in a different way, to interact in a different way? And those were some of my takeaways from my conversation with myself. I wish I could see, either I'm not seeing the comments or there are none. And I most certainly only see a number but cannot say who it is. So I don't know, Facebook Live, you suck a little bit. Are they gonna like take down my video because I said that? Sometimes when I finish the video and then I look later, I see like somebody will say, I'm here, I see you, but I don't know why it doesn't show while I'm on it. So also, if you have any technical advice about what I'm doing wrong on Facebook Live and how to see comments and people, I'll take that as well, if that's where you want to comment. But I'd really like to hear you comment about the whole marriage vows to yourself, because I'm so interested. Let's see what else. Tomorrow's Thursday, or better known as Friday Eve. No party plans for the weekend, but oh, yay. Hi, Kathy, I see you. That's freaking awesome. I was just saying I can't see names of anybody watching. I just see numbers. How are you? I'm sad that I missed you this summer. I wanted to be in Captiva with you. Sitting on the beach, sipping cocktails. That's it. You're born with you. You die with you. You're really important. You matter. And we need to be married to ourselves and be present and loving to ourselves. And then we have room for others, including our own spouses and children. And it's not that they come second. It's that in order to show up as the best version of yourself, in order to become the best version so that they have the gift of the best you, because don't they deserve the best you? These are the kind of things you have to work on for yourself and with yourself. So that's it. That's my soapbox for the night. There was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it is. All right, I am gonna go try to sleep, and I will see you all mañana. Have an awesome day, have an awesome night, and hopefully when I look back, there'll be comments and thoughts and shares, because we're all in it together. As cliche as that sounds, it's real shit. Okay, bye guys.